What is up this year? LA in a minute. And in the aftermath of one of the most devastating disasters in Los Angeles history, an initiative called LA Rises has been launched. This is a huge step to support rebuilding after the fires. And it's a unique approach that'll bring together business leaders as well as the city, county, and state as LA grapples with its unprecedented loss. And the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation jump-started the efforts by committing to provide up to $100 million for the cause. But the work of LA Rises is only just beginning. Let's get into it. As we've seen, the scale of this devastation is unprecedented for Los Angeles, as important and historic communities were ravaged from Palisades to Altadena, affecting tens of thousands of people. As such, a group including Magic Johnson announced the initiative today outside of Dodger Stadium. Led by Governor Gavin Newsom, alongside LA28 Chairman Casey Wasserman and CEO and controlling owner of the Dodgers, Mark Walter, they announced the launch of LA Rises, a massive philanthropic undertaking which aims to bring together private sector leaders to support the rebuilding efforts, which will be led by the City of Los Angeles County, and the State of California. To spearhead funding for this new effort, Mark Walter, along with the Mark Walter Family Foundation and the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation, provided an initial commitment of up to $100 million. LA Rises plans to raise additional funds through private donations, and they're going to provide major resources aimed to help the LA communities most affected by the fires recover and rebuild. Casey Wasserman, who was instrumental in bringing the 2028 Olympics to LA, said, "The process and the journey we're about to start with LA Rises is not about the next month or the next year. This is about what LA is going to be like for the next 50 or 100 years. It's important to note that LA Rises is also going to be about active and engaged citizenship. This is going to be about people like me and you volunteering and doing what we can to help these communities rebuild." This is a very unique approach, as state and local resources are simply not enough to rebuild Altadena, Pacific Palisades, and the other areas ravaged by the fires. As for LA Mayor Karen Bass, she's launched her own initiative, LA Strong, specifically because Altadena is an unincorporated area, meaning it's outside the scope of her office. In her initial strategy, she appointed longtime civic leader and real estate developer Steve Soberoff to pilot the first phase of the city's rebuilding efforts. As for how LA Rises actually works, the priority is going to be fundraising and expanding access to philanthropic and private capital. LA Rises is going to focus on collaborating with other philanthropic and community organizations to maximize the impact of ongoing rebuilding and recovery efforts. Most importantly, especially for those affected, LA Rises is going to support unified communication efforts to arm people with up-to-date factual information, timelines for rebuilding, and available resources. As for Magic Johnson, he said his focus is going to be on Altadena to make sure that historically African-American community is not overlooked. His quote was, "The city always finds a way to come together, and it's done that. And I want to make sure that I've done my part to bring healing to the city and to those who lost their home or a loved one." The next steps for LA Rises include finding designers, developers, and architects, as well as financing and logistics in a completely fresh, dynamic, and distinctive way. And thank you to the Los Angeles Dodgers Foundation for their huge donation. That's a good start, but there's still a lot of work to be done. All right, LA, it's been a minute.